Tell Stacy I gotta relocate this guy. October 22nd, we're not quite at Halloween, so I need to move him though. I've been tripping over this guy, or bumping into him, I should say, for months. Let's see, put him right there for now. Anyway, welcome back. A lot of chores to do today. I've been using my hook, and I just put my first wicket in today. I've let my tomato plants get out of hand. Now, why am I doing that? Why am I letting them have multiple vines instead of just one single vine with the hook and wicket system? I believe by the end of December, I'm not going to be able to keep my tomato plants alive. So I've got a short window, and yes, I'm getting greedy. So I'm trying to get as many tomatoes as possible out of this fall crop. Having said that, I'm okay with letting this get a little overgrown. As you can see, it's quite the jungle in here. I mean, just everywhere I look, I get more suckers, and I'm getting flowers. So again, being greedy, I just don't want to give any of these up. In a minute, I'll grab the camera and we'll start taking a look at the growth of everything from my Happy Rich broccoli. I believe I've got, I don't know if it's parsnips, broccoli rabe, carrots, beets, fennel, just planted, over 50 celery starts. Flowers are doing good, lettuce, I got new lettuce starts. In fact, here's some right here, not even a week old. So I want to make sure we're keeping the succession going. Anyway, so that's what's going on. It's, as I said, October 22nd. I don't know, it's been a little over a month, coming up on maybe 2 months. I think September 1st, I got everything in the ground, or most everything. And it's just doing really well. Struggled a little bit. In September, it was really humid. Now our evenings are getting a little cooler. Humidity's dropped significantly. My cucumber plants were just getting eaten up by caterpillars. I've salvaged a couple. I want to see if, in this one, it's completely loaded with bugs, so I'm getting rid of this one. It's done. I'm not going to try and keep this growing anymore. It's just bringing too much disease into the greenhouse. Uh-oh, man down. So anything that's just totally infested, we're going to get rid of. So, yep. I think you're going to be surprised and amazed at how well things are doing. Now, what have I done? Drip irrigation. It's twice a day. I'm going to cut it back now that it's not as hot. I originally amended the beds with compost and the Never Sink blend of organic fertilizer, if you recall. Going forward from that point, I'm now at a point where, I guess this is my 3rd week, I'm starting to weekly amend the beds with Harmony. It's a organic chicken manure mixture, very nitrogen rich. Some of these plants, the tomatoes, eggplants, they're at the point now where they're becoming heavy feeders, so I want to ensure that I'm not going to lose any fruit because they're not feeding well. Today's chore is to go through and trim up my lower leaves on my tomato plants. I need to make sure we're getting enough air circulation through here, and I don't want it to use a lot of energy on any leaves that are below my racks of tomatoes, which I'll point out in just a minute. So anyway, I'm going to do a little more work, then I'll come back and I'll give you a tour of how everything's growing in here. We'll finish up and just touch on the 12-inch wide garden bed I did. We'll check up on the 12-inch garden bed I did on the simplest way to start a garden. I'll show you how that's coming along. It's looking really good. All right, give me just a couple minutes and I'll give you a tour of what's growing on inside here, and I'll take you in the small greenhouse at the end of the video if you stick around. All right. take a walk with me. I've been busy trimming a lot of the lower leaves and suckers. Okay. In fact, there's one right there. I'm going to get rid of it. All right. Oh, by the way, there's our working pile so far. Okay, we're making progress, but I wanted to show you something here. Where was I at? I've been trimming a lot of this. Now, I wanted to point this out right down here. Look at all the new growth suckers down at the bottom. Every single plant has been loaded up. I've been trimming them, and I did just want to point that out, how healthy these plants are. They're just thriving, popping new growth, even down at the bottom. I have some growth coming out of the very bottom of some of these. You can see they want to form roots, but if they're exposed to the air, they're starting to sucker. This right here is a volunteer cherry tomato from last year. Okay, we've got fruit on it. You can see it's outside my bed. In fact, there's new growth again. Keep talking about that, right? Okay, I'm going to go trim some more, and then I'll give you the tour as I talked about. But I just wanted to point that out real quick. The first lower and leans are starting here. Pro tip is you got to get rid of your string, otherwise it keeps it from wanting to lean over. Sneak peek. All right, I'll be back. All right, I've been at it well over an hour, and I've missed this big sucker. I've missed this one here. They're everywhere, right? There's another sucker right up here. There's the main branch. There's another sucker. Here's another one here, right? And I just worked this and I missed it. All right, so the small ones you can just break right off. All right, so where are we at? What is this? This is a Mighty Sweetie tomato. Lots of those. There's more over here. You can see all the flowering going on up here and more up at the top. All right, I've got, where that conduit is, that's probably at least 9 feet. We're almost there. Here's another look. Again, everything is just thriving. Look at all that growth down at the bottom of that plant. Lots of tomatoes. You could see here, I'm just starting to lower and lean these two plants. One's heading to the front. And as we lower, I'll just keep sliding that hook over. And this one, I'll start to slide more this way. So at some point, I'll come around here. I'll also do it right now. And just keep moving it towards the back. And then it'll lower the further we go. And then there'll be another wicket right over here that'll start to support this next rack. All right, we're right at the eggplants. These were the eggplants, sorry about that I had planted in the early summer. And I knew they wouldn't go to production. However, I figured I would try to dig them out, amend my beds, and replant them. And they had a little bit of a shock, but they're loaded up now. You could see all the new growth up here. This is not ideal how I'm filming this, so I do apologize. You could see all the new growth there. Okay, you go down a little lower, you could see, where is it hiding? All right, you can see that one, and there's one further behind it, over there. There's a new fruit right here. Okay, more tomatoes. You can see more of a cherry variety here. Lots of flowers. Now I've done some planting in pots, and this is a cucumber. I have 2 zucchini. They're an Italian variety. I just started to trellis this particular one up. In a pot, we've got broccoli. There's an extra tomato plant. I'm keeping my sweet potato vines alive. This cucumber plant, I think, is going to make it. And I did see some fruit on it, some cucumbers. So I've salvaged what I could, and now I need to continue to trellis all of this, but we're starting to get some cucumbers. The beets are doing well. We'll take a look in a minute. These are the collard greens that I grow for my neighbor. We're going to come around the outside. Now, Nick from Growing Back to Eden gave me a tray of celery. I think they're Kelvin. I planted over 50 yesterday. Oh, what a blessing. This is going to be great. We love celery. Okay, here's a volunteer tomato plant, right? Self-seeded from my crop in the spring. I just trimmed a whole bunch of growth out of here, and that's what we're left with. I figured it's in between the collards. We'll get to the end of December, take it out, and that should give us somewhat of a harvest. Here's the bell pepper plant. It's loaded up. We're starting to get a couple that we're eating green. All right, lots of bell peppers. You could see the flowers. It's just loaded up. Now, these were bell pepper plants that I almost treated it like an overwintering. I cut them back and I amended my beds around these. I didn't disturb the rooting, and they're doing really well. So that was kind of an experiment. Now, more celery. I have lettuce starting to come up. Look at that lettuce, man. We just harvest around the outside. No dirt on that. I'm going to munch on that right now. Oh, man. So good. That's a Carmen sweet pepper. You can see the flowers. More broccoli, celery. Finally getting some kale. Okay. Here's the Carmen sweet pepper. This is doing a little better. They were all seeded the same time. Look at those peppers. Lots of new growth there too. See it? More flowers. All right, I'm just going to stand up for a second and give you a view of what we got here. There's that cucumber plant. Those are my figs. Eggplants. Let's keep on going down here. Let's take a look at some of the beets. Look at these. All right, I started the seeds in August, and we've been eating them from the small ones, and now they're getting bigger. These are broccolis, and I have beets interplanted right there. Broccoli. We're getting into a Swiss chard. Yep, that's going in our soups. Look at that. It's gorgeous. So that's a red stemmed. Again, I have the beets interplanted as well as celery now. Here's a white stem variety of Swiss chard. Now, remember, I always say, I get a little pest pressure. I'm not going to worry about that. Look at this rock star. Escarole. Amazing. Here, a volunteer marigold. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous beet. They're all interplanted here. There's celery, beets, celery. Here's another eggplant. Hey, this is a black beauty. That's what they were back there. Here's a zucchini I think I'm going to have to get rid of. You could see all the signs of bugs and their eggs. I don't know. I don't think it's worth keeping. Here's more of a larger cherry tomato. And more growth up here. Hard to see with all the growth, but tomatoes everywhere. Whoops. Now, these tomatoes over here on the outside, hanging from this trellis, are the determinate. Remember, I had those in the spring, so I'm going to leave a lot of the suckers grow, and we're going to get as many as we can. These are more bushy type. You can see all the flowers. All right, we have, at the focus, some tomatoes. There's the zinnias again. Look at these rock stars, man. Beautiful, and that's not even a well-established one. More beets, more lettuce, another lettuce plant. Again, these are those determinate. And all of these tomatoes over here, up the center, these are indeterminate. All right, we'll come along the backside where we're traveling. This is actually the outer side. That's a cranberry hibiscus. These are Gothics. All came out of the food forest. They were volunteers. I pulled them out, and they'll make nice gifts. That's a tray of tomatoes. Again, you can see all the celery, the zinnias. There's a pretty one now. Look at all those petals. Gorgeous. You can see the size of the beets, right? Doing well. Zinnias along the outside. There's the escarole, the Swiss chard. Beautiful. I'm going to save the food forest garden for later. All right. Happy rich broccoli. All right, look at that. So, last night I made sausage pepper with potatoes in the propane fired oven. Tomorrow, I've started my pizza dough. I'm going to do a sausage pizza with the roasted broccoli. Oh, I can't wait. Here's another volunteer tomato. I think I'm going to try and trellis that up. While we're here, there's, whoops, sorry about that. There's our carrots. All along the bottom, you could see the beautiful heads of escarole. I mean, they're just looking fantastic. More broccoli. By the way, this Happy Rich, I love to eat raw in a salad. More escarole. A little congested, so I might harvest some heads. I got to harvest these broccolis. It's just crazy. Here's our broccoli rabe. I've been putting these beautiful big leaves in our soups. I don't think I have any florets yet, but we love the leaves. Look at that. I mean, look at that escarole. Gorgeous, organic. Here's another tomato plant right at the very end. And there's the Birdie's raised garden bed that has some broccoli rabe, some broccoli, which I just saw a floret. I can't believe it. I've never had this success. I forget what these are now. I believe they're parsnips, or turnips rather. I think they're turnips. Yeah, they're a turnip. Found my label. So I like these in a salad too. Have like a radish flavor. There's our fennel up the backside. Not doing well yet. This is another zucchini plant that's struggling, but we're gonna see. We're getting some bug action. Fennel over here is looking a little better. There's the broccoli. Here's another one here. Let's take a quick look inside my small greenhouse. These are San Marzano. They're doing okay. Not everyone's doing well. You can see that one there is just struggling. We'll get rid of it. I just planted more celery here. That's a, oh boy, aroma. Celery. These are Romas all around. Romas. This is lettuce, a romaine. These are the Romas. It's a mess in here. I've been busy for the last 5 weeks helping a friend out. Shout out to my buddy Pete over at Green Dreams, getting ready to have a soft opening on his nursery, Highway 41 here, Florida Zone 9B. I've got to get in here, get rid of some of these suckers. These tomatoes in here, they're going to grow throughout the winter and into the spring. So I don't want too many suckers. I will leave some. I just transplanted this one. Not doing well. I don't know if it's a soil issue. This is the second plant in that spot. There are lots of centipedes, by the way, in this soil. And from my understanding is their castings, much like worm castings, very beneficial. These are more carrots. So we'll see how it does in here. More carrots. Look, see the new growth at the bottom? I'm going to get rid of that. Celery, that's a Rosa Bianca eggplant. This is a Roma. These are my two Rosa Bianca eggplants. They're struggling, not sure. This is, wow, over a year old, these plants. All right, let's head over to the new beds in the food forest. All right, this grass, it's out of here soon. That's the next project. You can see all my metal edging. I picked that up at Green Dreams. Again, Pete, you guys ought to check out his nursery for supplies, fertilizer. Look at this gorgeous rosemary. Okay, got some leftover tomato plants. Again, marigolds. I started a tray. I'm starting to pot them up. This is a Sisu spinach, garlic chives. You could see there's some ripe mulberries there. I cut this way back. Let me step back. I trimmed my mulberry and all the other avocado, peaches, everything way back. Again, more of that metal edging. That's a red Turk's cap. I have some rosemary there. This is my Mexican sunflower. It needs to be cut back. There's my peach tree, looking well. Okay, now if you stuck around this long, here's that 12-inch bed. If you recall my last video, and the one before, it was a two-part series. Cantaloupe. I just started into planting celery, more broccoli. That's turmeric. This is it's used for tea. I believe it's a roselle. I forget what type, but when it dries out like this, you can steep them, and it makes a really good tea. More broccoli, more celery, more carrots. These are the mulberries that I propagated. They're all thriving, and at this stage, look at this little guy, Rockstar, loaded up with fruit. Here's another. Here's one with fruit right here. This one's going to make a nice one because of all the branches, new growth right there. Okay, more broccoli. Okay, more excess tomatoes, and have some more kale right there. I'm going to be using that. Here's more tomatoes, and this isn't doing well. This is the other bed I did. This is the 30-inch wide. Got some zucchini. Look at all that pest pressure. I got to trim this and see if any will salvage. This is the Florida pumpkin. Getting flowers now, but this whole area here is just getting annihilated. So I don't know if any of this is going to survive. It's okay. I just wanted to see if the seeds would germinate, and they did. This is just, I just fertilized this. I got to wash this in. Look at the size of that vine. This is more broccoli. So now these vines are doing well. Look at this, it wraps all the way around. Nice. We'll see if I can cut out all of the bed growth. So there you have it. Looking back at the food forest, the trees, and as I talked about, the simplest way to start a garden. Look at these plants are thriving. Hand watering them. Now I switched over to the Harmony instead of I think it was the Garden Tone. I ran out of it and I have not been able to pick it up. But again, you just feed your plants is, I guess, the moral of the story here. Look at how well this is doing. This is the first planting. I threw compost on top of my tree mulch, amended in some fertilizer, put in some starts. The carrots were all direct sowed. The celery were starts. Going to get a nice crop out of that as well. And I just had to stop and look at this. Look at that color. Tell me that's not good for you. Look at all those tomatoes. Eggplants. You guys start growing anything yet? Oh man. Look at how nice. Oh, I'm just thinking, what am I going to cook? I have so much healthy stuff growing here. Oh, blessed, blessed. Oh, hey, you're still here. All right. Man, is it getting hot. I appreciate you sticking around. It's just cranking here. I've got so much healthy organic vegetables growing. I hope you guys are getting motivated to start something. From the simplest way to start a garden. You see, it just keeps evolving here. It's a labor of love, yes, but it's all about a healthy lifestyle. So listen, thanks for watching. I got to thank my buddy Pete over at Green Dreams for the edging. I've got weed block, I got fertilizer. Check him out. He's also on YouTube. Check out Nick from Growing Back to Eden. He's a market garden farmer. He goes to there's one in Newport Richey, I believe it is, on Main Street. Check him out. You'll also see Jim Kovaleski there. Shout out to Jim Kovaleski. So, yeah, it's a joy. And I'm going to get back to work here. I just wanted to put a video out there. Things are just coming along at a fast pace here. And I wanted to give you a quick update. I hope this finds everyone well. And I'll see you soon. All right. Thanks for watching.